What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know what it is. Your boy John.
Fucking white belt slayer.
This guy over here.
Blue belt slayer this fucking week, dog. It's fucking up some blue belts, homie. Come at me, dog. Ain't shit change. I feel like we've been off our game a little bit. How fat are you, motherfucker?
I don't know.
220?
I'm probably still around 215, 220 right now.
You can bounce it. It's pretty good, though.
Yeah, you know what's weird is like...
You're down like 15, right? Didn't you go up to 230?
I was like 226, 227. Yeah. But it's
like
good. A few days this past week or two, like I forget to eat, and then I'll have lunch, or like I'll eat like around 1 or whatever.
By forget to eat, do you mean you had snacks all day and you didn't eat a full meal?
No, I didn't eat anything.
No cheeses?
Nothing. I haven't buying cheese because it's not good for you. It's delicious, but it's not good for you. But I fucking like forget to eat. I'll eat, and then I won't be hungry the rest of the day, even going to the 7 p.m. or whatever.
I can't do it because I've been eating like on the same schedule for 13 or 14 years. So like if it gets to 1 o'clock and I haven't eaten, I'm like, God damn, I'm fucking starving right now.
That's like pooping, you know. If
Wake up,
you have your schedule, if you have your schedule, it don't matter where you're at.
Yep.
You're like, fuck, my body knows it's time to go.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's been good though. I've been training back in the gym training, so it feels good. It feels good.
You know, 5 classes this week? 4 or 5?
I think I did 5, maybe 6. I think I did 2 10 a.m.s as well.
Those don't count.
5 and 6. Fuck out of here. Anyways, whatever.
When are you gonna come hit a 6 a.m. class?
It's too early.
6 a.m. Friday morning.
If I didn't have meetings,
I'm trying to take over all the 6 a.m. classes.
If I didn't have meetings at 6:30, then I'd join.
Yeah.
I'd come. I'd check it out. But meetings are at like 6:30, 6 a.m., sometimes 5:30. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all the 6 a.m. classes going.
I'm trying to do them all.
Yeah, because I want to build a fucking I want to build upon what I'm doing every day. It's like when you're doing it once a week, like you're not building on it. Like people are still.
I'm surprised that they're not like saying teach X, Y, and Z.
No, he's letting me do whatever I want. Yeah, he's letting me do it because I'm doing like fundamentals. So I'm not teaching. I'm not really teaching moves. Mm-hmm. I'm teaching like ideas,
concepts.
Yeah, like concept behind the hip escape, concept behind 2 and 2, concept behind
that's really
forward
good.
Roll, back rolling.
Yeah,
why you grab grips, and you know I'm not like a master of any of this shit.
Yeah.
It's like I understand it maybe at a little bit higher level because I've thought about it a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I've had years to think about these positions and how they help, and like because I'm thinking about it so much, trying to teach people it. Now when I'm getting in those positions, like, oh, just fucking do this, do that. You know what I mean? I'm always fighting between like, should I be hip escaping right now, or should I be conserving my energy, waiting for a mistake? Usually, I'm waiting for the mistake, right? And some people that just don't come. Like you roll with Misa, you roll with like Chris, you roll with Nick. Those kind of guys, they don't really make the mistakes, so you're kind of just stuck in bad.
Well, they don't make the easy mistakes. You have to force them.
You got to force them. So I got to get better at that. Just like cardio is so bad, dude. While I'm drinking a soda.
I know that goes into like what we were talking about it. I don't know, yesterday or earlier this week, when I was watching John Danaher and he was talking about not using the clock.
Oh yeah. Because
you get into a position, you look at the clock and you have a minute left and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna survive here, versus like you have no idea how much longer you have, and so you're only saving grace is I have to get out of this position. So it forces you. I thought that was pretty cool concept, and see, I never thought about that before like that, because for sure I was like, there's times where I'll be in a bad position and I'll get a glimpse of the clock and I'm like, all right, or like someone has a choke on you, and someone yells out 30 seconds, and you're like, oh, I can wait 30 seconds, you know?
Yeah. See, I'm actually doing the opposite. I didn't do it last week or this week, but last week I did it. Where I'm saying the goal is to submit your partner, and I'm only putting 3-minute rounds on.
Make it a little
to
more
make
intense.
It work, because that's the one thing I've noticed about like the judo guys is they're used to not having time on the ground. Like they get 30 seconds. So they're aggressively passing, aggressively trying to get the side control.
So they don't stop the clock.
Yeah, so they don't stop the
clock. They don't stop you. And
then they don't stand you back up. Seconds. Yeah.
So if you hit the ground and you're progressing or you're working,
you got to be in a super dominant position
for them to not. Okay.
After like 5 seconds.
Okay.
You got to be like you got to be in a position where you're grabbing a submission like 5 to 10 seconds. Is from what I've seen.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's the rule or not.
And then they'll let it slide a little longer.
If you're grabbing an arm for an arm bar, like you're in an arm bar, if you're in a choke, they're gonna let you try to finish it. But if you're trying to pass and then grab something, it's
stand
done.
back.
Yeah. If you watch like Travis Stevens or Ronda Rousey, they were both like big armbar people.
Mm-hmm.
Travis was throwing people into arm bars. So he would either get a bad throw or a rebound off a bad throw, and then a lot of times guys would end up in the turtle, and they're doing the belly down arm bar from the turtle. That was like Travis Stevens' big thing. So like he would go.
They trap the arm out like that.
Yeah. So he would go like Travis Stevens has his own seoinage that he kind of came up with. So he would go like this seoinage, and then either throw it and not get an ippon, or miss it and fall or whatever. But he was so quick on bouncing from the ground to the dude's back and armbarring him, like it was just. I think I remember I looked this up because I was pretty curious about it.
He made it to the Olympics, right?
He's a silver medalist. Yeah, him and his coach Jimmy Pedro are considered the most accomplished American judokas ever. Because I think it's only them two and maybe one other guy who's ever placed in the Olympics for Americans.
And then women is
Ronda
really
Rousey.
only Ronda Rousey, like that's it.
I think there might be another. Oh, I think Ronda's mom actually was a medalist in judo too. But there's not a lot of them. Not a lot of Americans that make it in judo. Because so like in the judo scene, you have to travel internationally to get enough points to qualify for the Olympics. And it's super expensive to go to those tournaments. You got to go to Japan, you got to go to Europe and shit like that. And here we don't have the money for like other countries, and other countries like the corporations.
Even if you're on the U.S. Olympic team, they don't cover the cost.
There's no U.S. Olympic team really. It's not big because not enough people qualify to the Olympics. So like I know Jimmy Pedro, I think he was the coach of the Olympic team. I think he just got ousted because it's voted on. He just got ousted from USA Judo as the president or as the coach for USA Judo. So there is like a potential to make a team, but I don't think even the team has the funds to send people everywhere. It's such a niche sport, and it's not big here in the US.
Well, it's niche here, but it's huge everywhere else.
It's the biggest combat sport in the world.
Yeah.
And actually, it's the biggest or second biggest sport in the world in general. Not combat sport.
Well, soccer's
the only one bigger, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they say there's 70 million judokas in the world. So that's more than active like baseball players and basketball, whatever. And it's one of the only really international sports, soccer.
So you think there's more judo black belts than there are jiu-jitsu black belts?
Oh, 100%. No doubt. No doubt. There's only like 10,000 American or jiu-jitsu black belts. Maybe not even that many. IBJJF certified black belts? I bet there's less than 10,000.
But those are just certified. It's if you follow by.
Yeah, but most of them are certified. I would say 80% of black belts are certified.
Isn't.
Okay, one.
Gordon Ryan. Well, he competed black belt.
Gordon Ryan absolutely is certified. Yeah, 100%. Because Gordon's black belt's not from Danaher. It's from Tom DeBloss and the little short dude. Which he's probably our height. Fucking Gary Tonin.
Gary Tonin.
Yeah, and Gary Tonin has a school, and I assume that he's probably under IBJJF. Henzo, obviously under IBJJF. I mean, he's probably not paying the fucking fees, but they're certifying.
Like family.
Yeah, they're certifying, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I would assume like Half is under. They still has, they're still under, even though they're not.
But once you're registered, that's it.
And plus, dude, the fucking Half's black belts from his dad, I think, who's Carlos Gracie's son.
Yeah.
Fucking Hoyler. Hoyler's probably never signed up for IBJJF, but I mean, he's fucking black belts from his dad. You know what I mean? The godfather of jiu-jitsu. So, yeah, but there's 100% more judo black belts, and also the time to black belt in judo is less. There's this other guy I met recently. He's in Norco. I think his name's Juan. His last name's Murillo Judo in Norco. He actually got his black belt at the Kodokan in Japan, and I think he's Mexican, maybe Mexican and black, or maybe like Mexican and Filipino or something like that. He's a darker dude. But he said something to me when I first met him, and I was like, "Oh, where'd you get your black belt?" He's like, "Japan." I was like, "How long did you live there for?" And he said, like, he told me a long time, but he recently posted like his certificate from when he got his black belt in Japan. So he got it from the actual Kodokan, and it took him, I think he said 6 or 8 years. And that's from but that would be like going and getting your black belt from Helio.
But that seems pretty.
Judo, it's from what I've seen, between like 5 and 8
the
years.
time to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's because there's more availability to the moves and the techniques that you can get better faster.
It's just like any sport. People progress faster.
Yeah. people are just progressing faster because if you think about back in the day, the only way you can learn jiu-jitsu was going to a gym, and those gyms there weren't tons of them, so it was much harder, and it probably took longer because of that. Where now, um, I think a lot of even hobbyists, like I mean, we train a lot. Everyone we know trains a lot, and we're not trying to be pros, but we train a lot.
I think there's also the commercialization of it, like you're trying to have customer retention. There's a lot of shit that goes into it, but it's like
that's why a lot of gyms start at their
and then also
knees
fucking black belt is it's
the
different.
beginning.
It's the beginning, and it's like there's levels to black belt. Like
no,
I'm trying to think of a black belt I could call out and not call out. Okay, there's a local black belt here. He's won everything. He's won everything in his age bracket. You put him against an adult in his prime, and I don't think he placed in anything.
Well, even if you look at, let's be honest, a competitor blue belt,
an adult competitor blue belt smashing most black belts.
Yeah, most hobbyist black belts. Exactly.
Or even like masters black belts.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Purple belts for sure. Maybe not blue belts, but purple belts for sure.
Man, blue belts.
There's some good blue belts for sure. Like at the world level.
Yeah, at the world level.
The guys that are going to the worlds at blue belt and they're top 5 guys. Yeah. Yes. But a lot of those kids are living it. You know what I mean? Those kids are out there fucking. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do. Exactly.
That's what they do.
And they've been doing it since they were fucking 5.
Yeah. That kid Aaron that I sponsor, he's a fucking savage, dude. Savage. He can't even fight kids his age. Nobody will fight him. Like he goes into brackets and people pull out. He's 12 years old or 13 years old.
That's crazy.
He's like 5'8", 13 years old, like 140
That's a big
pounds.
Boy.
He's going up to he's fighting like 170 16-year-olds. And he doesn't do great. I mean, he does okay against them. He wins some, he loses some. But in his division, he smashes everyone. It's not close.
Yeah.
Like he's like flying armbar. I mean, that'll be flying triangling people. It's insane.
That'll be good for him because as he gets to that age, and he hits 16, he's gonna be dominating that division.
Oh, that kid's if he sticks with it, he's gonna be. You'll know his name.
Yeah,
he's a savage. Like he's got some other friends that are kind of very good for their age and shit like that, and technically he's better than all of them, and he's a yellow belt. Yeah, I've watched a couple of his friends fight who are kind of names, and I'm like, he's doing a backwards triangle. How is he going to finish that triangle?
Uh-huh.
And then like doing a couple other things, and you see him compete. Like he's sharp. His top game, his standing game is crazy. His bottom game is crazy. He just makes mistakes, I think, because he gets in his head. He's a young kid. He's fucking 12 years old, 13 years old. But when you get him to, when he gets out of his own way, he's going to be unstoppable. Like crazy.
Yeah.
And he'll be big. I mean, I bet he's probably going to be 6 foot, 180 pounds. He's going to be a big dude.
Scary.
But that kid, if you give that kid my weight right now, he'd smash me. You know what I mean? You give him, if he's probably not 170, he's probably 130, but he fights like the bigger kids. I mean, like look at Gabriel.
Yeah.
What was Gabriel? 14 now? 15? He might be 16. He's between 14 and 16. But now he's like 170 pounds.
I think he's 15. He's going 16.
Yeah, now he's 170 pounds. He's a fucking destroyer, dude. He's barely a blue belt.
Which
destroyer?
Little G?
Dude.
Or
no, Gabriel.
What's his name's brother?
Yeah, Jonathan's brother.
Yeah, he's a fucking
savage, dude.
And that's what's crazy for those kids is they're not even like
men yet.
And they're not living jiu-jitsu either. Yeah. It's just
they're doing it for fun.
Yeah, they're doing it for fun, and but they've been doing it a long time, and they're just fucking killers.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, dude, Gabriel's a savage, dude.
His brother's good too. He doesn't train as much anymore.
He used to be really good when he was training a lot. Now he's just not training, so he's a little rusty.
I think he's focusing on college right now. So
that's good.
Yeah,
wrong with that. You know what I mean,
well, I mean, jiu-jitsu to make it a life is it's hard. I was talking with Carol the other day at like 10 a.m. After and asking her if she saw Maggie versus Helena, and she's like, "Yeah, I knew Helena was obviously going to beat her," but we were talking about. She's like, the difference between this new generation and like you guys and people that grew up in our generation is we're all going to be able to continue competing into like late masters. He's like, these new generation, they're never going to make it to masters because their bodies are going to be completely broken because they're going for all these crazy ass like
Just inverting
it's
is
bad
super
on your
bad
neck.
for you.
Well, that's what happened to what's the name? Who used to Berimbolo all the time. Then he got a Danny.
Oh yeah,
He got he was
Danny's fucking our age.
yeah, but
At least my age.
he was
He's not old
bowling
like you.
everywhere, and then he slipped a disc in his neck, and so now he can't do that anymore. But
look at Jeff Glover. Jeff Glover's like one of the inventors of that kind of shit. I mean, he's had multiple back surgeries, neck surgeries. Like Jeff Glover's like 41 years old, and he can't competitively roll, and they said he can barely roll at all anymore.
Yeah,
he's partied a lot, and he's done a lot of other dumb shit, but. I mean, Jeff Glover was like one of the originators of that kind of shit, and he's done. He's in his early 40s.
Yeah. So I kind of agreed with that with Carol. Like, yeah, I didn't think about it. You're right. These kids are, by the time they hit, 35, 40, they're probably not going to be able to roll even at a master's division competitively.
Yeah. Well,
they'll be great instructors. That's the thing is like the
will
level.
Will they be though? Not every
maybe. Yeah, you're right. Not everyone's good at teaching, but there's going to be more of them that have that level. That's just going to constantly like evolve the game and get better and better and better. So, just kind of interesting take on it. Like,
well, look at the brothers from AOJ. I can't think of them. Mendez brothers. There's a reason. There's a reason they don't compete anymore. And they're like the purveyors. I think they're them and the Meows kind of started Berimbolo.
Yeah.
Neither of them compete anymore. They're younger than us.
Yeah.
Both those brothers are younger than us.
Are they?
Yeah, I think the older one, Hoffa, I think he's like 38. Guy's like 36 or 37. They're young. They're really
they're
young.
building an empire now.
Yeah, but they should be still competing in their prime. There's a lot of dudes that they're. I mean, if you look at their skills and what they had, or what they still have, hopefully, I mean, they'll smash a lot of dudes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I thought was interesting is with Danaher saying he's probably going to step down from teaching. I don't understand why he would step down. You don't.
I think he's in a lot of pain on the mats.
Yeah, but even after he gets his surgeries, he's saying he doesn't think he'll be able to teach at that level. But I don't understand. Like, you can teach at that level without, like...
Maybe he just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, his life is focused on combat sports. And maybe he's just like, dude, I've been doing... Danaher's old. I mean, he got his black belt, I think, in the 90s.
He looks young.
Danaher? No, he doesn't.
He looks young.
It's just because he's bald. But I mean...
Doesn't make you look young.
It makes me look a lot younger.
I don't know.
But I mean, he's in his 50s.
Yeah. My girl, we were talking. I heard someone talking last night about Sebulba. They're saying you're going to do a thing at Sebulba.
I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
I was gonna say it's gonna be funny if you go and they're like, no, you can't come in
here.
And they think you're me.
Oh no, I hit up the dude. I was like, yo, he's like, you're not even banned. He's like, there's just a report about you that you threatened to beat up a fucking security guard. And I was like, well, I did not. I didn't do it. I did not do that. I did not threaten it either. But yeah, I'm trying to. I really like that band.
There was a report on that there too.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's all right.
Whatever.
If I don't go out,
the casino's kind of whack though.
Super whack.
Yeah.
But talking about the Danaher thing, and then it looks like Gordon's probably going to pass the torch. That after this week, Nicky Rod and Victor Hugo fought, and it was a pretty good fight. And then Nicky made a mistake. Victor capitalized on it, choked the fuck out of him. I don't know if you saw Nicky rolled into the choke. That was a mistake.
He took his back.
No, right? Okay. So he took his back, and if you're getting choked. I mean, I would assume Victor has like a world-class squeeze, but if you're getting choked...
He rolled to that side, you see.
You want to put your chin in their elbow. It's very hard to get choked like that. He rolled into the forearm. You never roll into the forearm.
But his arm was trapped, and so if you think about it like that, if he rolled the opposite way, where to the arm side where it's trapped, 100% that arm's not getting out.
Yeah,
so you kind of have to.
No, you don't have to roll that. No, look, dude. If someone's got you in a rear naked, where is there going to be space? Is the space going to be on the part that's holding your elbow into a stiffness, or is the space going to be on something that can't move, or that has a gap already? There's a gap there. You can never take that gap away. There's a gap in your elbow.
You'll still crush your face, and
but you're not getting choked.
Yeah, but you're still.
That's where I started with. Is Victor Hugo's squeeze so good he's going to get tapped there?
I think he would have.
But then he rolled into a choke. You can survive a jaw crank, you don't survive a choke.
Yeah.
He rolled the wrong way. There's no doubt about it. He rolled into the choke.
Mm.
Across the forearm. He was safe. Obviously, he was getting choked or he was getting crushed.
Yeah.
And he rolled that way into it. But
Got tighter.
there's something. I mean, Nicky's fucking savage. Victor Hugo is just more of a savage. He was able to capitalize on a mistake off that Uchi. I think it was Uchimata or Taitoshi.
Yeah,
But the reason I bring it up is it is very apparent that Gordon is the GOAT.
Yeah.
And it's
after that, for sure.
It's probably not close.
Yeah.
No way that Nicky beats Gordon. No way.
No. Because that's what people were like. Yeah, this is what blew my mind is how people didn't know who Victor Hugo was. I'm like, what the fuck do you not know? Who Victor Hugo is?
They're new to the sport.
But when when Victor had his match against Gordon,
that guy didn't know who Nicky Rod was either.
Who did?
The person who told
Daniel Cormier?
No. Oh no. Okay, I thought you were talking about someone else. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. But I was saying when Gordon had his match against Victor Hugo, it was just complete domination.
Like they fought on Fight Pass. I can't remember.
I think so. It's either that. No, it was on Fight Pass. I think.
I vaguely remember that fight. But Victor's an absolute world champion. It's not as impressive because he's an ultra heavy world champion too. I think he won at every belt coming up. Victor's
he's a man.
Top 20 probably jiu-jitsu practitioners of all time.
Well, wouldn't this put him probably?
He's number one right now.
Yeah, outside of Gordon.
Gordon doesn't count. He's not fighting.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Because he just beat technically who's supposedly be the number one.
Yeah.
I would like to see him against Craig. Not that Craig's going to compete, but
man, I think Craig fucks up Victor.
Craig is just so.
Victor has problems with small guys because if you remember ADCC 22, Baby Shark put it on Victor. I think Victor ended up beating him in the absolute, but Baby Shark fucked him up. Like he didn't know what to do because Victor's so fucking big and Baby Shark's so small. Like he couldn't grab him and shit.
Well, that's like when I roll with Jay. He's so long. His arms. I always fucking like the first minute or so. I forget that his arms are long, his legs are long, and you go for things, and he just like I don't tighten it in enough. Yeah. Where normally I don't have to go super tight, and so because I don't extend him, he just like steps over shit. I'm like fuck, and so it takes me. I like have to adjust. So it's the same thing when you got someone small. There's like a adjustment period where you're like, oh yeah, I gotta fucking adjust for these different body style.
Yeah, speaking about talking about Gabriel a minute ago too. Like Gabriel's he's not a thick kid. He's big, but he's not thick. I have a hard time holding him down. Where other people I put in those positions, and I destroy him. And it's no disrespect to Gabriel, he's not on the level of the people I beat up like that. But he's so small, I can't fucking grab him.
Yeah.
Like I'm putting everything on him, and there's too much space between our bodies.
Yeah.
And he'll do weird shit and get out. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
The only thing I can ever hold him is knee on belly because you ain't getting out of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just fucking. I hit someone knee on belly Friday. Thought he shit his pants, dog. He's all. I was like, yeah, dog. What's up? Ain't shit changed, homie. Yeah. I think Gordon's a fucking GOAT. I hate to admit it.
But I do think right now Victor Hugo's number one active.
I think you have three people fighting for the number one spot. You have Marigali, who's probably still on that level.
I don't know how much he's even been training though.
He hasn't. He's had his fourth surgery.
This shit was fucked up.
This shit's fucked up. So let's take Marigali out. You got two people in the running for the GOAT. You have Victor Hugo and Giancarlo Baldoni.
I haven't seen him. I don't.
Giancarlo has the greatest ADCC run of all time, ADCC 22. I think he's the only person that has ever won trials in one division. He won ADCC this year as well. He's won everything. I think he did get beat a couple times, like a who's number one, but Giancarlo is probably the only other person that's there. I think Giancarlo should fight Victor, but Giancarlo is 205 area.
But a huge weight discrepancy.
Man, you would think that Giancarlo's speed and aggression would be able to beat Victor Hugo, except for if Victor grabs you, it's fucking done. Dude, he's so big and he's so fucking
that was something I had people kept complaining about. They're like, well, look at the size difference. And I was like,
it's ultra.
But I was like, when Gordon fought Victor, Gordon, I think, was like 230, maybe
Yeah, Gordon's
240.
never been 270.
Yeah, he's
And
never
probably,
been that heavy.
and if I remember the timeline correctly,
He was like 300 pounds.
Victor was close to 300
Yeah,
pounds.
and he dominated him. So I think at that level, well, again, like we're saying, he's just so far ahead. It just doesn't make a difference. And then look at Mikey. Mikey fought that big ass dude that was like
the Euros,
almost 400 pounds, big ass dude, and he beat him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think up until a certain point, size fucking matters. But then once you get to the very top elite, it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, but so Victor does that to the other big guys, but there's no other big guys on his level.
Yeah.
Like Big Dan, very similar size and weight.
He would destroy.
But he's not on his level. No, he's fucked him up. He's not on his level. Luke Griffin, same thing. Giant dude, not on his level.
Well, Big Dan's an also great example. What's his name? Andrew Tackett fought Big Dan.
Yeah.
And he fucked him up.
But there was a skill discrepancy there. Andrew Tackett, it's a fucking, I think he might be a brown belt. That motherfucker's been a black belt since he was like 13 years old. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Big Dan is fucking great for his size and his age and his weight, but he's not on that same technical level because there's no reason to be.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be that technical. Big Dan is a smashing machine.
Yeah.
And where Andrew is just like, you're not holding me down. I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a discrepancy in skill there. Like Victor Hugo's probably the only ultra technical person at that weight. Victor is, I mean, that's what they call the big man flow. Six Blades.
But where?
He has his own school in Austin.
Oh, he's in Texas?
Yeah. So Victor is a black belt from Sanji and Sal Romero. Yeah. So he used to be here in California. Then they all moved to Texas. So Victor has 6 Blades in Lake Travis, and then Sanji has 6 Blades in Austin. Sal's done. He doesn't train. He doesn't teach or train anymore.
Oh, really?
No, he retired. He went back to Brazil. But they used to have the University of Jiu-Jitsu in San Diego.
So he basically,
that's why they changed
6 Blades his, so he's just taking. Like,
no, 6 Blades is Sanji. Yeah. So it used to not be called 6 Blades. Uh-huh. It used to be called Ribeiro Jiu-Jitsu or the University of Jiu-Jitsu. That was Sal with Sanji under him, and then Sal left. Sal said, "I'm done. I'm going back to Brazil. I'm retired."
Oh, okay.
And then they rebranded it as 6 Blades because their logo has always been that 6 Blades logo. But it's now 6 Blades. Mm. So and then Sanji's running 6 Blades.
Is there 6 Blades here in Cali?
Yeah, there's one in La Quinta that I know of. There's one right in PV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember when we went to that bar.
Yeah.
There was one like a one light up in PV. There's a bunch of them. 6 Blades is big.
I saw
it's probably that I know of. There's probably 20 schools.
I saw a gym in Temecula, a random gym. I had to go pick something up, and it was like in the incorporated area, and it was just like in this incorporated area, and it just said jiu-jitsu whatever, and I was like, I wonder what fucking gym this is, but it was like randomly in some like.
You didn't look it up?
I didn't look it up, no. But I was like, I didn't know there was a gym right here.
Yeah.
So.
What is it kind of by where Gracie Mites is?
No.
So it's either Check.
It's kind of like near
Carlson.
I would say it's more near Diamond Valley, like in that area, or French Valley area, like in the back. You know, they have those like that business incorporated section.
Yeah.
It was like in one of those areas, all the way in the back.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder what this is.
Yeah, I don't know of any 6 Blades up near us. But so the guys that own the 6 Blades in La Quinta, they own Victor's school too. I think Victor's a partner in it. But the guy that owns it in La Quinta, Steve Hargett, I think he owns that one too. And I think Victor either runs the school or is a partner in the school. But yeah, they have those 2 schools. But yeah, so 6 Blades is building a brand. That's why Sanji's competing again. Because Sanji said, I need to be the general of my school and show that we can do these things.
Yeah.
He said he'll never do a world title. He'll never fight for worlds or anything like that again. But he wants to compete at lower levels. Like he just did the Euros. I think he won too.
Did he?
Yeah. But I got a quick topic because I think we're running out of time already. So I was thinking about this week. I brought in a kid to start training with us. He signed up, and he's a super athletic kid. He's 19 years old. He's athletic as fuck. He wrestled a little bit, played football. Super athletic. And we were rolling during class and after class, and he has no skills, right? And I'm putting him in like stupid positions, like X guard, and knocking him down and shit like that. But he's escaping. Like I'm putting him in X guard, sweeping him, and as I'm coming up, boom, he's gone. Then you put him in another position, and he's fucking doesn't know what to do, and he fucking just explodes out of it. And I'm letting shit go because I don't want to hurt. It's his second day. I don't want to hurt him, right? And that makes me think to another person we have. He's a blue belt now, but when he was a white belt, he was a motherfucker. He's super athletic, super aggressive, and would just smash through positions. But now I've rolled with him as he's a blue belt, and that aggression is gone. So it's like, what do you think is more important, like at white belt, to learn and slow your game down to learn the positions, or just fucking explode through?
100% it's to slow your game down.
Yeah.
And really focus on the techniques,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Understanding, one, you don't know anything, so
Yeah.
understanding the different guards,
Mm-hmm.
and at least a couple, at least one thing from every guard, whether it's from half guard, spider guard,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and maybe even not even spider guard, maybe
Mm-hmm.
just like guard, half guard, side control, north south, and just understanding that. But I mean, that's where the spazzy white belt right comes from, is you're just, you don't know what to do, so you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that also yeah I think that also leads to like less injuries, because when you roll with like, even when like Nathan or Noah, they'll roll with like a newer white belt, and I always tell them, just pull guard, because they're going to try, they don't know what they're doing, and if you stand, you're kind of leaving yourself open to them being spazzy, doing something and fucking up your knee or something. So just, as I always tell them, I'm like, if you go with someone like brand new, just pull guard, then work from there. Let them work. You can work from there. Versus, I feel like it lowers the risk of injury. But for what you were saying, I think, you should really focus on slowing your game down and understanding the technique, because when you roll, there's hard rolls. You'll roll hard rolls. Like if you go with someone and you both similar level, you go hard, but you understand positions, you understand transitions, you understand setting things up.
Yeah.
And I think when they see that, they're just seeing two guys just fucking going at it, but they don't understand that, like, there's a lot more happening there than just spazzing out. There's like, it's back and forth. Oh, I put my hand here, boom. Oh, he addressed that grip right away. Now I got to go here. Like, they don't see that side of it, and so they just see like just people going at it. And
it's interesting that most of those people can't keep that aggression and physicality and athleticism as they learn. That's what's interesting about it, because when you're just being aggressive and physical, you don't realize how much danger you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start, as you start to learn, you figure out the danger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You start rolling. You're like, oh fuck, how did I get caught here? Well, it's because you're being a dumbass and you're exploding into these positions.
Yeah.
It's like you get caught, and you finally realize, oh, I need to slow this down and realize I'm putting where my arms go, where my legs go, and all this kind of shit. And you slow the game down. Like there's very rare that you meet a white belt that's that physical by the time they're at blue belt.
Yeah.
At least that I've seen in my, because I see and I roll with a lot. I roll almost exclusively with the bigger guys at the school, and I can remember them coming up as white belts and they're super spazzy. Yeah. Like Angel was kind of spazzy.
Well, then
now that motherfucker is super technical.
Yeah, and when they slow down, they're much more challenging to deal with.
Angel's always been a motherfucker. I think I've tapped him like 4 times ever, dude. That motherfucker, he don't tap his shit.
He's so hard to tap.
I think if you get him in a joint lock, but he's so fucking strong.
I've never tapped him with any joint locks.
Only chokes.
Only chokes, yeah.
But he's hard to choke.
He's very hard.
But I mean, also, I think he's probably impossible to joint lock unless you're like better than us.
He's thick.
He's strong as fuck too.
Yeah.
That Sumigay she's got is fucking fire.
Yeah, it's pretty
good. The only thing he does what you do when he sets it up. He looks back and he looks around.
Well, yeah. I look for people.
Yeah, fuck that.
I only do it because I don't want to throw someone on somebody, and so I do look around and I try to like position us so that I have room. But you're right. It's I wouldn't do that in like a competition.
Yeah.
But in our mats, like
but the problem is you get used to doing it, and it becomes part of the tick.
Not really. I wouldn't look like, if I was trying to go for it in a tournament, I'm not going to be like, oh, but in the gym, I just don't want to throw someone on someone. Especially, like you said, I usually go with the bigger guys, and I'd hate to throw someone big on the fucking, on someone small.
Yeah.
Especially like, people don't be paying attention. They're out there just like this, and their legs out here, and it's like, done.
That's funny. Omar was yelling at Neto the other day because Neto was all tired sitting on the mat like this, and he's like, put your fucking feet in. He's like, they're going to fall on your feet, and you're going to be done.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. People sit on the mats and they're not paying attention.
Yeah. That's why I don't sit. One of the reasons. I started the trend of standing up, by the way.
I sit. I don't care.
You sit on the bench, though.
No, I'll sit on the mat. But I'm like, I sit facing the mat. Some people sit like at an angle. They don't see it. I'm always watching like who's around me, how people are rolling, things like that. So, but But that's why I always do the look. But yeah, it's 100% like it's like, oh, he's gonna try something.
Yeah, because the first he hit me with it earlier this week, and he went into it and set it up. But this time he was like looking around and shit, and then like I ended up in his half guard, and I was like, hey, give me one time. Shame on me. You know what I mean? You ain't getting me twice of that same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. He got me with it. It didn't fully throw me because I went and landed, but he still caught me. So
Yeah, but he ended up like butterfly sweeping you kind of.
the way I ended
Yeah,
up,
because like you fell on him.
and then my leg was still hooked,
and then
he
he's
was
like,
gonna finish it.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how he's finishing. He's not going like a throw.
like a throw.
He's finished it with like a butterfly.
Yeah. Because he did catch me with a butterfly.
Yeah. That's what he caught me at the first time too. I stopped and then he butterfly kicked me over. The Warzynski style, flat on his back. It's pretty crazy.
I know Neto's been doing a lot of butterfly stuff, like.
Oh.
And then so is Dominic. Remember old Dominic?
Dominic's
lately?
always been into that.
Me and him go at it, and I'm just like fucking pushing away, like get off me, bitch.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of butterfly stuff as well. He's pretty good too.
You know, when people get me a deep butterfly, I know I'm going to go under. I prepare for the roll straight into the half guard. Yeah, and then try to sweep them back. Because usually you can use that momentum of you rolling over into catching them to pushing them back. I don't continue to roll. I used to try that a lot, and I could never get enough momentum to roll them back over. But what I'll do is so when I land, I'm like underhooked on their leg, and then I just immediately go into it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to do at least. Because sometimes you're in the butterfly and you know you're not getting out of it. No matter what, you swim under, you try to crush them. Because a lot of times you'll swim under and you go to crush them and they fucking just throw you anyway. So
I put my head in their chest.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
That's like my number one is I go straight to like, if it just head straight to the freaking solar plexus and then I kind of push off of them to make space and then kind of work from there.
Dude, I was rolling on Friday and I was rolling with someone I haven't rolled with in a while. And I pulled guard on him, just fucking around with him, and he took advantage of the position. He's going after me, and for like 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes, he's whooping my ass. But at one point, I felt my eyelid go inside out.
Oh, I hate that.
So I reached up to move it, and right when I did that, he put his chest down, and I was thumbing my own eye, and like I had my thumb fully in my fucking eye, and I was like, "Do I tap?" I was like, I ain't never tapped this dude ever, and I ain't starting today. I finally just pulled my hand out, and then he made a mistake, and he was like, oh, no, now I'm about to pay. He said it out loud. And then what happened?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't try to tap
that
people,
shit
you
sucks.
just try pain.
That shit sucks when you're like, your eyelid gets like pushed up. And you're like, fuck. And the gee's like rubbing on your eyeball. You're like, man, this is bullshit.
Yep. Dude, my whole thumb was in my shit. I was about to tap, and I was like, nah, I ain't never tapped him. You ain't never gonna tap me.
You ain't never gonna tap me. That was like that conversation we had last night. With Jonah, where he's like, there's just certain people they're just too far ahead. You're never gonna catch up. As long as they continue training, you're never gonna close that gap against them because it's just too far of the gap.
Kyle, I'm gonna catch that fool in the parking lot and fucking knee his ass to the baseball bat. Then I'll catch his ass.
Kerrigan.
Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan his ass. Then I'll start catching him.
I still think he'd get you afterwards.
One knee? I don't know. One knee?
I think he still would.
You need both knees, dude. They're pretty important.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying he would adjust.
Yeah. I would only attack that knee afterwards, too.
I was watching a podcast with Rampage. I don't remember who was on it, but it was someone
on Jackson.
Yeah, it was someone he had fought, and he had injured his knee in training, and it wasn't like a public training, but he injured his knee, and and then in that fight, whoever his opponent was, normally if you know someone's injured, you're gonna attack it. He literally punched his knee. And he's like, I don't know how you fucking knew, but someone fucking told you I was injured. He's like, because I ain't never had no one just straight punch my fucking knee. I think
I heard that, yeah. That was like when Francis fought Cyril Gahn, he had a torn ACL, so he put 2 knee braces on.
Yeah.
So you don't know which one it was. Yeah.
Well, that's what I do when I when my hand was messed up. When I competed, I'd put both hands because obviously it's a tell, oh, he's got fucked up. But then you watch what's his
Tynan?
Tynan. You see his hands completely fucked up.
Dude, that should be illegal.
Don't make a difference.
Should be
Yeah,
illegal.
big ass fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not clubbing people with it though.
He is.
Was he?
100%. That's his overhook hand.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, the Cyril Gahn and Francis one is funny though, because Cyril Gahn tried to heel hook Francis. And he's like, "Congratulations, my shit's already popped."
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's already
like,
broke.
It already broke. You ain't getting it.
Yeah, everything's already torn. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, it's still painful as fuck.
Yeah.
One of the matches at the Fight Pass, the Invitational, I think he got a heel hook, and he hurt
the two dos Matos.
Yeah, and he was like, "Why?" He was kind of mad. He's like, "Why did he make me do that?" Because
it was Andy Murasaki versus Daniel Slather.
Yeah, he said he felt it pop and he didn't tap.
Yeah.
So then he went again. And then his knee popped, and that's when he finally tapped. He's like, "Why the fuck?"
He said they were roommates before.
Yeah. And he's like, "Why would he?"
He's like, "Why would you make you do?"
Yeah, why would you make me do that? Like, as a competitor, like, you want to win, but you're not trying to like maim the fucking person.
Well, Daniel's gonna be out for 6 months probably, dude. If he popped his ankle and his knee,
it was both. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like he was like, "Why'd you make me do that?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I mean, you have a point. Like,
yeah,
100%. You're caught. Just tap. Don't like."
And for what? Maybe 10 grand.
Yeah, I don't even think it's 10 grand because they weren't even the main cards.
Nah, Fight Pass is paying.
You think they're paying all of them that much?
I bet the low side is 5 and the high side.
I would say
Nikki probably got paid 100.
You think they got paid that much?
Nikki did for sure.
Do they put the?
No, because they're not sanctioned. They don't have to be sanctioned because it's not combat. It's not considered a combat sport. So they don't have to have the sanctioning bodies there. That's why they don't drug test. So, but I keep seeing this thing going around today. After the UFC last time, they're doing the post-fight press conference.
Yeah.
Dana said they're going to drop 10 to 12 million this year in the next 12 months into jiu-jitsu, into straight Fight Pass fights.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
It'll open up more of a career.
Yeah. The only downside is I think they're making you sign exclusive contracts.
So you're not going to do IBJJF.
Well, who cares about IBJJF? But you're not going to be able to do CJI or ADCC. I think they're trying to pull athletes from ADCC because I think Mo fucked that up. Because remember, ADCC was going to be on Fight Pass. They announced it, and like 2 weeks later, it went back to Flow.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'd be interesting take because
ADCC might be done.
This will be the trend. One of the things when we first started the podcast, one of the things we had talked about, I think initially was like it's one of the only sports where you can go fight adult, and you're going to be competing against professional athletes, like Tynan, high level athletes, like just as a nobody, right?
If I was a black belt,
there's no delineation between amateur and pro, and this might break that out of like you're not going to be now. There's going to be legit pro divisions where you're not going to find fucking Joe Smo black belt competing against like what was that one where Nicky Rod he did like a local tournament
Naga.
And he just fucking picked up that old fucking dude and slammed his ass.
Well, fucking dude, a couple weeks ago Joey was gonna fight fucking Alexander Volkov at a fucking Naga.
That's what I mean. Like I think that will be a thing of the past potentially if that's what UFC is doing, where you're gonna have more of a delineation between.
Well, you're gonna. I think the other thing is too is you get to squeeze a little bit more out of these pro athletes people like to watch. Yeah, like a good example.
They compete more often.
Well, no, just like like Uriah Faber. He can't fight anymore. He's fucking old. He's done. He can still do jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what.
And he's such a big fucking name. Like Uriah Faber's gonna fight Nicky Ryan like he did before, right? But that was when Nicky Ryan was nobody and Uriah Faber was still fighting. So they weren't really getting anything extra.
Well, Mighty Mouse. That's what he's doing.
Exactly. Like so, Mighty Mouse. He can't fight no more. I mean, he can, but
no, he's not injured.
He can.
He's
but he could go 100% into jiu-jitsu for the next 10 years, still get paid, and UFC or whoever can make money off of it. You know what I mean? They can recoup. They can make more money. Then you got guys like Luke Rockhold. Dude, if Luke Rockhold wasn't hurt at CGI, he would have been a motherfucker. He was hurt. He could barely walk. And he got hurt like the 3 days before, where he couldn't walk. And he's like, I'm not going to pull out. But Luke Rockhold, why wouldn't you want to squeeze another couple $500,000 out of Luke Rockhold, or like trying to think of other?
Do you think that those competitors, like, well, obviously Mighty Mouse, you watch him in IBJJF and he's fucking good. He's not doing adults, but he's really good. Do you think that they have the opportunity now that he's focusing just and he's been training, he's gone to B team. He's gone
Yeah.
like he's traveling, training with all these high level
Yeah.
that he can advance his game enough to become a professional jiu-jitsu athlete
No.
in that sense.
No, he's too old.
You think? He's
Yeah.
still fucking.
He's too light. He'd be fighting Baby Shark. He'd be fighting fucking
They're like worlds advanced.
Pato.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no. But on the other side of it, Josh Barnett, motherfucker's like 50 years old. That fool could still compete at jiu-jitsu at closer to his age or closer to the adult. But he could fight 35-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker's an animal, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like why wouldn't you want to get?
Well, plus it gives. I think it's cool because like it also gives like retired MMA fighters like a second career almost.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think that's the big thing. I think that's what they're going to do is they're going to get the guys that are kind of on the way out. Like, what if Mackenzie tomorrow says, "Fucking, I'm done fighting"?
Well, yeah. I mean,
how much money would they make off Mackenzie grappling?
Oh, yeah.
And if Mackenzie said, "Hey, you know what? I'm done fighting. Let's go back to just training jiu-jitsu."
Well, imagine if this was around when Nick Diaz and they were retiring. Those guys were savages in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
they would have had the opportunity to get
Meta Morris did that. Meta Morris, that was like I don't know if you ever heard of Meta Morris. It was a big shit show. They didn't pay a lot of people, but they were trying to do that. And then UFC is letting people grapple. Yeah. Like Bryce Mitchell was going to grapple in Karate Combat, but he ended up pulling out because he got a fight.
It wasn't like a direct competition to the UFC.
Yeah. Well, so so the grappling doesn't fall into their competition.
Under their thing. At that time.
So he was going to be allowed to grapple because the way, I think Karate Combat and UFC kind of have a little bit of synergy because the guy that runs Karate Combat is very like he always speaks very well of the UFC and he coaches a lot of UFC fighters. He's got like 3 or 4 top 5 people in the UFC. So he's always saying very positive things about the UFC. He's not like Bellator where they're saying we're better.
We're just talking shit.
He's like, hey, we're doing something different.
Well, it is completely different.
It's completely different.
Yeah, it's completely different.
And the only crossover is the grappling, and they're seeing that grappling's making a little bit of money. They're like, well, we're the best promoters in the world. Why don't we promote grappling, right? Because I bet those Fight Pass events get subscribers and they get pretty good views. But also, let's say you get 5 new subscribers every month for Fight Pass because of this. But the views on YouTube, the views on social media, all those are going to add up, just like Power Slap did. Power Slap doesn't get it's free on YouTube. Yeah. It gets something like hundreds of millions of impressions on fucking social media. So they're making money off of it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the next couple of years how that evolves and changes the sport.
Yeah.
How it affects IBJJF, how it affects ADCC.
IBJJF needs to actually do something with the black belt.
Did you see that Diego Pato post? Mm-hmm. He posted like a little CGI thing.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
like a teaser.
Well, because it's going to be team based, so you would assume AOJ is trying to put a team together for that. Well, but AOJ doesn't have any big people.
But it sounds like he's going to be. What do you mean they don't have big people?
Who's the biggest person?
Oh, you mean like heavyweight, size-wise? Oh, okay. I was like, not name-wise, size-wise.
Yeah. And I can't. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but I can't think of any pros from AOJ that are over 180 pounds.
Well, their game at AOJ isn't geared towards big dudes. It's geared towards, 190 and below, extremely flexible, doing wild shit. Like,
yeah,
their game is just not geared towards like a big guy game too.
Yeah,
I mean, you might get someone that's super athletic, like.
But the really interesting thing is if you watch like Tynan or you watch Pato or even Cole fight, they look just like Omar when he fights.
Their style, yeah.
And Omar's game isn't based on being flexible; it's grind you out. So I think what they're doing is they take like the style from Gracie Maita and then they modernized it. Mm-hmm. They don't really focus on berimbolo anymore.
No,
they're focused on smash passing. Like their big thing is that trap the leg drag pass, or that when you weave like.
Where
you're weaving the legs and grinding dudes. Like they're grinding people. They're not jumping around and flying. I mean, Tynan does a little bit. Probably the most athletic thing he's doing right now is that gator roll.
Their
pass.
strategy that they're building into it.
Yeah.
Into their game, which that's a huge strategy. Just making them carry your weight all the time from every position.
But that's an old strategy.
It is.
You watch Hoyler. Hoyler will go double under and hold dudes there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, just to make you suffer and tire and make a
Please
mistake.
pass my guard.
Yeah. Please
Pass my guard. You
Exactly.
know? And that's my whole game plan. It's like my game's not very good, but
I've been doing a lot from north south and past north south. I would just kind of lay there,
Yeah.
on them, and just prevent them from moving left or right and escaping. But what I've been doing recently is, when I get to north south, I'll kind of TP up. I'll still block the sides so they can't roll, but I'll TP up and I'll drive my shoulder, either into their chest or solar plexus, and I'll just kind of sit there and like point my weight all the way down, and then if I can, I'll reach behind and pick their head up from the back crown of their head, and I'll pull their head up, and I'll just let you sit there for a while, until I can tell you're like, he's gonna give me his arm or he's gonna give me something because he's fucking tired of this shit.
Yeah. I do a very similar thing from north south. I don't really play side control much anymore. I play like a 9 o'clock position. You know, like let's say north south, you're perfectly perpendicular. I'm more like at a 45
so they
degree
can't
angle.
get the legs in.
Yeah, and I'm blocking the hip always, but I windshield wiper across people's face with my chest.
Mm-hmm.
So I want your face to go like
Facing
this,
the opposite way,
because I think about the positions I don't like to be in, and it's this position. Like you rolled Big Gabe, and he fucking forces your head one way, then he forces your head the other way. He's just constantly grinding your head where you want to give him something. That's what I've been trying to really tell people that I've been trying to help and coach. It's like, hey, I don't need to submit you 5 fucking times in a row. I need to submit you once.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna grind you until you give me the submission. Yeah. I'm 90% sure I heard Hickson say this. I always hear it in my voice on the Hickson. He's just like, I'm gonna make you give me the submission.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make. He's like,
make you miserable enough.
He talks about it. He's like, he said something like, first I cook the rice, then I cook the beans, and I make you, then I submit you. Mm-hmm. But he makes you give it to him. That's what I try to focus my game on.
Yeah.
Pain. You're like, you roll Luke.
I don't even know if it's pain. It's just
rolling Luke.
It's just
pain.
suffering.
Yeah, well, fucking rolling Luke is like fucking suffering.
Yeah, Luke's
rolling
like a 10,
Kyle.
Luke is like a 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. person. That's what I'm telling you. When I go,
okay, you got one fucking dude, except for the list of dudes at fucking 7 p.m. who will crush your soul.
Yeah, but I do that one too.
Sometimes.
Most times.
Sometimes you do a weak ass class too.
Sometimes there's 7 p.m. that show up and there's like no one there. This week, Monday and Friday. I was surprised how many people were there on Friday.
I don't know why I didn't go on Monday. I didn't go on Monday.
Monday was crazy. It was absolutely packed.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go this Monday either. Tomorrow.
Yeah, it was packed in there on Monday, and then Friday there was a lot more people than normal as well. Like this week, there just seemed to be a lot of people.
Yeah.
But those are, it's like there's just no room.
Yeah.
So when you're rolling, it's just like, so there's no room to do shit. So
I earned my place on that mat. You can move the fuck out of the way. You got fucking 260 pounds of man coming at you, plus whoever I'm rolling with. So
yeah,
time for you to move.
Go on, get.
I got one more thing to say. Congratulations to our boy fucking Cheech getting his black belt this week.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
yesterday.
That's awesome.
It's a fucking lifetime achievement right there. So
he's a savage too.
Cheech is a fucking savage, dude.
Yeah, I'd always liked rolling with him because.
Not me. That fool used to fuck me up so bad, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, but I always learned when I was rolling with him.
I had to learn shit. Like, how the fuck did I get submitted 25 times?
Yeah, he's really good.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't got anything else. I think I love, like, I'll just say that the Invitational, that was a really good card.
It was very good. All the way, start to finish,
yeah,
good.
I think there was no really boring matches at all. They were really, really fucking good. And then the main events were fucking obviously really good as well. So I'm looking forward to see what the next lineup is going to be.
Did Sarah Galval get submitted?
No, she won.
She won?
Yeah. I think she caught a leg lock or something like that.
I think you might be right.
I'm pretty sure she caught a leg lock. She's a killer too. How big is she?
Way lighter than you'd expect. 120, 122.
I was wondering if she's in like Helena's weight class, so she's lighter than Helena. Because Helena looks pretty heavy.
Well, Helena's a man, so.
Anyways, hit the like, hit the comment, all the good stuff. Share it out.
#NoOs.